Was one of your resolutions this year to order less takeout? HelloFresh sends everything you need to get dinner on the table. No meal planning, all deliciousness. Get 16 free meals plus 3 gifts with code FACE16 at hellofresh.com/FACE16.
Hello and welcome to the Spanky Dandy Old Men Can't Say Bro, Let's Not Argue About the Moon Landing podcast. My name is Geoff Ramsey. Welcome to you, the audience. Your name is whatever the fuck it is. Also with me, Andrew and Gavin. This is episode 91.
That came through my speakers for some reason.
Did it?
How else do you get it?
Spanky Danky is his name.
Spanky Danky.
So I was directionally correct. I was close. Spanky Danky.
What you get there, audience, in that intro, and also Gavin, because of course he wasn't here, that is a recap of this episode's pleasantries. Couldn't bring you along for the pleasantries, but wanted to give you a little nugget of what it was, because it was a wild ride for the 7 minutes I was involved, and it had already been going for a bit.
So when did the pleasantries start with Andrew? Like 20 minutes ago?
No, well, listen, I showed up 15 minutes ago. Everybody else showed up 10 minutes, I'd say.
Okay.
I showed up maybe, they were going. When I clicked in, there was a laughter, and Nick was like, this is already off the rails.
And based on last week's pleasantries, I decided not to attend this week's pleasantries on the grounds that they're worthless.
You missed a lot. We heard about 2 old men who tried to one-up each other in a Walmart about whether they were both directly involved with either the moon landing or the covering up of the moon landing. We learned about Spanky Dandy, the hottest new rapper.
What about this, Gavin? Next
Next
time we record, whatever that is, I will not show up until 1, and you can show up 10 minutes early, and you can have the pleasantries experience.
Why don't we just all turn up at the same time and record it all for the audience to listen to all of?
Because the pleasantries are a great part that I hate the most.
They really
I love
are.
the pleasantries.
Gav, you came up in the pleasantries. We regaled your Bob Vila Go-Gurt experience.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that a bit. We discovered that the Venn diagram of people who make a Logan's Run reference and say bro is me. We surveyed a jam-packed 7 minutes.
I'll be honest, this week's pleasantries sounded better than last week's.
Well, I think the problem is when you get here, we just end up starting the show, so there are no pleasantries. It just immediately goes in. So that's why I was offering.
So what you're saying is it's physically impossible for me to attend pleasantries if I'm the last to join.
I think the last person who joins, whoever that is, doesn't get to partake in the pleasantries.
All right, so next week you're out.
So I'm out. I'm willing to step out for pleasantries, and I welcome you to get in 10 minutes early.
I agree with Nick. There was less pressure on these pleasantries this week. Last week, there's a lot of pleasantry pressure.
That's a good point. I think you just need to naturally show.
My power might go off.
Yeah, you having a rough day, huh, buddy?
Yeah. Got booted from a GTA video I was in earlier because my power went off, and could happen again today.
Ooh.
Well, it's still today. I mean, now.
We're in the midst of another snowstorm in Austin, so the entire state has shut down. Things are fine on my house, though.
Bit warmer this year, though.
Yeah, well, last time was a historic cold, right?
Yeah, it's only -3 today, which is definitely enough to grind the whole of Texas to a halt. But last year, it was like -16 or something.
Yeah, it was pretty sucky. It's going to continue to get colder, though. It's going to be even colder tomorrow, I hear.
Oh.
Nick said, is this Gavin's Print the Law episode? Too soon to tell, but quite possibly. Quite possibly.
Do you have a generator, Gavin?
I've got batteries.
Well, what does that mean? What do you mean batteries? I got fucking batteries. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Your batteries explode. Geoff has batteries.
Yeah, I'm not talking about just AA. I've got like large block, like camping batteries.
He's got his garage is full of AC Delco car batteries, just in case.
I got all these I got a million fucking double A's. I'm ready.
It's like having a generator, but it doesn't last as long, but I don't have to put petrol in it.
That's fair. Okay, so let's say you lose power and you got to use, what's the first item that's getting hooked up? Is it the fridge? What are you protecting? The internet. That's number 1 for you. How many of the batteries do you have? What are we working with here?
8.
8. Okay, that's pretty good. I use
them for like filming in the quarry typically, but comes in handy when all the power's off. Well, I mean, I just turn on the internet. We like ration the internet mainly because it's nice to hear updates about the world and maybe quickly grab some content to watch with dinner.
It's for your crippling porn addiction, right?
Yeah. I can't imagine like pre-downloading porn. Like, what is it, like the 2000s? That would be really extreme. It's like, not like I need to pleasure myself now, but I'm gonna do it later. Can you imagine scheduling that? I'm not horny now, but I'll get it down just in case.
In case of horny, break glass.
I did not think that throwaway joke was gonna result in so much funny. That's awesome, Gavin.
I don't remember if we talked about it in a recording or if it was outside of the fact, but Gavin shared his battery holder thing at some point where it's like, I'm just imagining that for like porn hard drives. It's like categorized. He's got different things.
I love the idea of just putting on a little USB stick a few porn videos that you've never seen before that you know that you need offline.
In case your raid goes down.
I like the idea of you having to pick between like porn or your fridge. Like you've got one more battery.
I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to cut a little hole in my wall and put in like a emergency porn glass.
Well, wait, what if you get one of those fridges that have like a screen in the front? You could be a double threat. You could just throw your porn to the front of the fridge.
Wanking while you're facing your fridge is a bit weird in the middle of the kitchen.
Yeah. I think having a fucking porn stash in case that a storm takes out your power is weird. We've gone beyond the realm of like normalcy.
I mean, that's just an area where the digital world has kind of screwed us because, you know, back in the day, people would resort to magazines, which are available offline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or VHS.
Can I get a porn mag at a store? Like, I don't think, does Playboy stop publishing, right? They don't make magazines anymore, I don't think.
I think that they started again, maybe, but there are other porn companies that still make magazines, I believe.
It's such an interesting line of thought of being like, I'm horny, I got to go to the 7-Eleven.
Dude, it used to be, imagine if you were like, I don't want to look at a picture of people fuck, but I would like to watch a video of it. You'd had to go to the other side of town to a disgusting dark building and then stare at the ground for 20 minutes while you try to find your flavor of porn in a porn theater. Knowing in the back there were dudes beaten off in little cubicles. The world has changed for the better rapidly.
I don't understand those theaters though. Like people would go in and not wank. Is that the point of them?
What do you mean?
Like, it was always a big deal when people got caught monking off in a.
You're talking like Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
I don't want to name names, but yeah.
He was in a movie theater, and I also think that turned out to be he sort of got fucked over by that. Like, that turned out not to be, misreported in some way, I believe.
Oh, was it like a Richard Gere gerbil situation?
No, I think there was something to it, but I think, I don't know. I don't know the story, but I think it wasn't as nefarious as it seemed. However, what's his face from all the Christopher Guest movies, I think his was. Legit.
Who is that?
Fred Willard.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, he's great. Did he have one of those?
Yeah, he got busted jacking off in a theater like in his 70s.
Oh, this is kind of funny depending on the context.
Yeah,
I guess it really depends on the theater and what was playing for my level of okay with.
The weirdest thing is it was A Mighty Wind. He was jacking off to his own films.
He saw Bob Balaban, whatever his name is.
I agree. I don't know what the point. It's just like a weird thing. Do you think people have recorded like bootleg? You imagine like bootleg theater porn as opposed to like when people would like illegally film movies. Have you ever watched somebody illegally film something in a movie theater before?
No.
I remember one time I was at the show and it was like, I don't remember what the movie was, but it had been out a long time. And it was just me and this one guy in the theater. And he pulled out a fucking tripod and he put a camera on a tripod at the back of the theater. This guy's wild.
Did he get caught?
No, I don't know what he was there for. He left like shortly after, but he pulled a tripod out and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like the level of confidence.
What if he just had one of those things that people put on tripods to see if they're like architect people? They have like levels on them and stuff.
They're levels. For survey equipment? Yeah.
Yeah, I just see them all the time. I have no idea what they're doing, ever.
I don't know. It's possible he worked for the theater. I don't even remember I saw a camera, but he had a tripod. And I just thought this is ridiculous. Like to bring in the confidence of bringing in a tripod is impressive to me. I love that level of not caring.
The world has changed a lot since those days.
It has. I'd like to see somebody in there with a boom mic, like holding it up.
I mean, isn't this essentially an entire episode of Seinfeld when Kramer got caught up in pirating movies? And
is
it was Death Blow was the movie they were trying to get.
That's a great fake movie name.
Death Blow?
Yeah. What's the one in Twilight? That's another great fake movie. It's like Killer Punch. Did you hear that?
Did someone text you?
What the fuck was that?
Why do you put your phone on silent?
No, I'm gonna put my phone on silent. Sorry, I didn't know it was on.
Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
Have you talked about what's happened to you, Andrew?
What do you mean? In the pleasantries? In the last week?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that was a strange pivot because I felt like you were talking about the text thing, which I definitely have talked about.
Well, we already talked about that. What we haven't talked about is how you're basically disabled this week.
No, well, you know what the worst part of that whole experience is that there's nothing all that entertaining about anything that happened. I was genuinely mad that, I had to go to the hospital unexpectedly because I had a foot issue. And typically my ankle foot things heal in about a week, and it was not healing. So I was like, I think I need to finally get this checked out. So I did. The problem is I live up like the most ridiculous 12 staircase setup. I couldn't. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like Gavin and I were very supportive of you in that moment, throwing out lots of options for ways to get down the stairs. I feel like we were trying to be very helpful.
I don't remember if Gavin made a suggestion. Geoff suggested I sled down it like jackass.
Well, because you sent us a picture of a flight of stairs, and then you said something like, I have to do that 4 times.
Yes. It was a lot. It's a lot of stairs. So I wheeled out. I called an ambulance. They came, and they evaluated. I explained the situation. I think the funniest part of that, well, there are 2 parts of it that were funny. One, I've been reluctant. I think it's partially like an anxiety thing of not wanting to get checked out and also feeling like, I'm not like dying, I don't think, so I'm fine. It heals in a week. Like, whatever. No big deal. So when we're going over like all the different things, the guy's like, are you taking any Advil or Tylenol or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I'm taking quite a bit right now to manage it. Yeah. And he's like, well, do you have any side effects from that? And I'm like, no, you know, my stomach has been burning a little bit because of it. And I know that can be a byproduct of using those in large quantities. But outside of that, I'm doing pretty good. He's like, any shit or any shit in your blood? Great flub, Andrew. Any blood? He asked, any blood in your shit, essentially. And I was like, no, I'm good there. No problems there. And he's like, oh, okay, good. Because if you had that, then that's when you really want to get checked out. And I was just quietly like, shit. I was just quietly like, yep.
Well, I was freaking out last time.
So we get through that. And then they're like, okay, we've looked at your foot. We have these issues with it. They're like, we think you should get checked out. I think it would make sense for us to take you to the hospital. We're going to do that. Now we just need to figure out like the best way to accomplish this because you can't walk at all and your stairs are ridiculously narrow and long and twisty.
So they're in your house at this point?
They're in my house. Yeah, it's 2 guys.
How hard was it for them to find your house? Did they have to follow the McDonald's guy?
They had to, yeah. They had to call the McDonald's guy. They had to be waved out as a whole ordeal. But they get there. And they're like, we're going to call the fire department, essentially, to like figure out, get more muscle. They have other tools. We'll collaborate. We'll get this. We'll figure out a way for you to go down. I was like, okay, cool. So they do that. And then like 10 minutes later, there's 7 firefighters on my stairwell, all looking up. It's like a team huddle. And they're just going back and forth on what the plan should be. I'm just listening. And before any of this happened, I thought, should I just, because everything else is fine, I thought, should I just slide down the stairs and then just wait at the bottom? And I think I could accomplish this.
Yeah, like a little butt shimmy.
Like a little butt, like a dog doing a butt shimmy across all my stairs. I was like, I think I could accomplish this. But I thought, oh, I'll wait and I'll hear their opinions. I don't know what options they have. So there's like 9 people at this point. And they came to the conclusion that the easiest way for me to do this would be as if I just slid down the stairs. So I have 7 jacked firefighters all around me just watching. They turned into like just a peanut gallery. They just were like there for moral support at that point. So I'd ass shimmy down my stairs and then they'd grab my desk chair, put it behind me. I'd sit and then I'd push myself in the chair to the next set of stairs. And then I just did that all the way down to the front door to get in the bed.
I like that was the result of their huddle. Like they were like,
that was
break. All right, you're gonna shimmy down on your arm.
Do you realize that you just lived out every lonely, bored housewife's fantasy to slide down carpeted stairs into the waiting arms of 7 firefighters?
I just like the idea of somewhere else in Canada. They're like, freaking restaurant's on fire. They're like, you have to wait, son. You have to wait. We got everyone deployed to a guy with a swollen ankle.
We got a stair slide situation.
Yeah, we got a stair slide. They were just all they did was say good job, and also like.
Did it sound patronizing or like supportive?
No, it seemed genuine. There was a lot of good jobs and like, oh, you should take a minute to take your breath. Like it was a lot of trying to make it. I'm good. I'm fine. We're just gonna do this. So then I accomplished that.
What
and then what else? Well, yeah, it was annoyance, but it was funny.
But and then you had to do it in reverse, I assume, when you came home.
No, well, that was the thing. I was like, well, how am I gonna? I'm not really sure what the game plan is for getting back up, and I just was on so many. The whole thing, the whole exiting process wasn't the best. Where they did X-rays and blood work and all this stuff, and then they gave me what they believe was the issue with it, and they gave me a bunch of pain pills for it, essentially. And the person's like, hey, can you walk? And I was like, I don't think so, but I don't know. I haven't tried in like 4 or 5 hours. And they're like, okay, well, do you own? They didn't offer me anything. They weren't like, we have crutches or a wheelchair. They're like, do you own any of that stuff? And I was like, not really. No. And they're like, well, can you walk? And I was like, I don't think so. And they're like, cool, we'll come back in like 15 minutes and try to figure this out. And they never came back. So I just slowly limped out of my room. My foot was too swollen to put on my shoes. So I'm barefoot, just slowly staggering through the hospital by myself, and then just go out the door and hop in a car and get taken home. And then I just walked up all the stairs, just very slowly using the railing.
Are you wearing regulation Andrew Panton shorts this whole time?
I had been wearing regulation underwear for like the past 6 days. Well, not even some.
So you weren't even in shorts?
No, I was going full I was Winnie the Pooh in it for a lot of the days.
All right.
And then, no, I put on shorts for the being transported.
So you didn't Winnie the Pooh in your butt shuffles down the stairs?
I did not Winnie the Pooh butt shuffle down.
Donald Duck it down the stairs. Okay.
No.
7 firefighters just look away in horror.
Don't look at me!
Well, Andrew goes, wee! Hey, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah, of course.
I was listening to the episode that just came out, which, I make a practice of not doing, but for some reason, honestly, it's because this fucking COVID, dude, it's driving me nuts. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I'm so fucking bored. So I was listening I got so miserable that I decided to listen to our content.
Which was Face Stadium Jingle, Jingle, Jingle.
Yes. What did we ever answer what the Jingle, Jingle, Jingle mystery is? Did we cover that?
We haven't. But I don't know. I kind of want to see more.
You said in
guess.
2 episodes, and so this would be the third episode.
You know what is funny, Geoff, is we have done 0 in the history of this entire podcast. We have never done any show prep together as a group or exchanged notes on what we want to talk about. And I attempted it once, and I feel like I got shit on by you for it in the episode.
By who?
Like I got made by you.
I was definitely making fun of your process because it was ridiculous, but I still loved it.
What do you mean it was ridiculous? I was writing notes to try to distribute like this many
album fucking tracks and stuff. It was great. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Well, I'm saying that I tried to do prep for one time and I got shit on for it. So I don't need to bring up the jingle jingle because it's not needed. Apparently we're not going to do that. No show prep. But I want to hear people's predictions.
I have no idea what just happened. 3 episodes ago, you said, I'm going to tell you what it is in 2 episodes.
No, because that was under the assumption that we're recording 12 episodes in 4 days, which is what I was under. So I thought this is the first time we need to. And people seem to be interested in the jingle, jingle, jingle thing.
Right.
And I also talked to you about the jingle, jingle, jingle thing and discussing it and the timing of discussing it.
I don't remember.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly you don't remember.
Are you telling me I know the answer to the jingle, jingle, jingle mystery?
You know.
No, he doesn't. You didn't say that in front of him.
No, I didn't tell him what the answer to the mystery is, but I told you when we should talk about it and why we should talk about that. And you agreed. And then you just said nope and just flushed that information away.
No, I don't remember that part of it.
You were not there for that, Gavin.
Oh,
it was during the pre-show prep that we always do, where we prepare our bits.
I'm pretty sure it was a Slack conversation between you and I.
I don't know. I just want to know. I'm right there with the audience, wondering what the fuck it is. I just want to make. Are you going to address it someday?
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't care when, as long as it doesn't get dropped.
No, it will never get dropped. I'd like to see a week of people predicting.
I think you're blue ball in the audience because you teased it.
You're the worst, and you don't mean to be. You're being the worst right now. You have no idea how annoying you're being right now.
Geoff doesn't remember the instructions that I'm not allowed to know.
He's ridiculous. He's infuriating. I love you, Geoff, but you're infuriating.
I mean, in fairness, there's nothing more forgettable than the episode recorded between the one you're in the middle of making and the one that just came out. Like, I couldn't tell you what was discussed a week ago.
No clue. That's why I asked if we covered it, because I was listening to the episode and I thought, jingle, jingle, jingle. Do I know what that is? And I thought, we must have dealt with it. And then I thought, fuck, I better ask the guys because my old ass forgot. So if you had told me, yeah, we covered that in episode 90, idiot, I would have been like, oh, I'll wait till it comes out and listen to it.
We have not. But you know what we have gotten a lot of, and I want to hear your two opinions on this. Since the field research has been done, getting a lot of successful reports back of the Hotcake Happy Meal hack. Any opinions changed? Any reverse of thoughts? You're both against it. I'm seeing a lot of reports of it working. It's beyond just my store.
Oh, is that what the jingle, jingle, jingle is?
No, it has nothing to do with that. Completely unrelated.
Refresh my memory?
No opinion. You guys were both very strongly, this isn't a hack. This is bullshit. The research has come out. I've seen a bunch of people report that they've gotten 3 hotcakes with their Happy Meal. Unfortunately, it appears to be more of a Canadian thing than it is in America. Doesn't seem like many American locations have it.
All right, let me ask you this. I'll answer your question with a question.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How kind of you.
So you're buying. I'm gonna make sure I get this straight. You're buying pancakes from McDonald's, and you're getting an extra one, and you think it's this amazing hack, right?
Yes.
Don't you have 70 pounds of pancake mix in your house?
Let me counter this for you, okay? This is a really simple... You're absolutely correct. I do. I'm not saying that this is, for me, the most cost-effective thing. Like, obviously, I'm taking a luxury, and I'm ordering a thing I could technically make myself. One, pancakes at McDonald's taste differently than the ones I make. I really enjoy the taste of the McDonald's hotcakes. 2, it's a cheaper way to get a thing I enjoy, and it's a small luxury I feel for myself every week. I'm not the best at eating breakfast. I forget a lot of the time to just eat it. It's a meal I don't always have. But I've made it a tradition that on a recording day, I get to treat myself in the morning, and I at least have a breakfast going into it.
What if you take 2 of the McDonald's ones and make the 3rd one yourself?
Oh.
What do you
mean?
Like get the 2.
What if you donate your pancake mix to McDonald's, and then they can make your pancakes for you?
Ooh.
And then when you get the pancake back, you'll know that maybe some of it came from you.
I've been looking at donating most of my pancake mix, but unfortunately with COVID and stuff, there's not a lot of places that are taking it to make pancakes. Eric said, I don't think McDonald's wants anything from Andrew. I think that's correct. I think it's a factual statement. Outside of one particular set of items from them.
I think if the world ends, if there's big fat nuclear winter, you're gonna have the weirdest collection of stuff. You're gonna be a bottle cap millionaire just from people. You hear about the guy who's got the pancakes and the sauces. It's like not something you'd expect from a regular abode.
This is what I'm gonna say to that though. Okay, let's say nuclear winter happens, right? Yeah. I'd rather have the group of people that are coming into my house. They're coming after if there's like a takeover scenario, people like whatever. I'd rather have the pancake people than all the horny jerk-off people that you will have with your fucking car batteries. You are in the jack-off capital in Austin.
I want to get electrocuted and jack off at the same time. Where'd I go? We're going to see the battery beat-off dude.
The battery beater?
That's an excellent point, Andrew.
Just lean on this fridge. I
don't mind. I can share the pancakes. We wanted to do a pancake bath at some point, but I think that's a terrible idea. I guess I talked about mixing it right when I had my pancake maker in the bathroom.
Yeah.
What if we lit a fire under the tub? Could you just make a big pancake? Would it cook through?
I don't know how that. You'd have to like balance it right so it's not melting the tub. There's probably a certain distance you could have where the heat would flow.
We could put you in a tub with pancake mix, cook it up, and you have to eat your way out?
No.
Yes.
I don't think that would work. I feel like, well, I think it would burn me, right?
We'd stir it.
That's not what I'm
Well, what if we put you in a fire retardant suit?
Okay. If we did that, then yeah, I'd absolutely be completely fine with this premise. But it can't be. I think it needs to be larger. It needs to be, you know, like in a movie, like in Creepshow, when fucking Ted Danson gets buried up to his neck in sand. Like it needs to be that, but Pancake.
But you need to have your head underneath because you got to eat out.
No, my head isn't going to be underneath the pancake.
We need you basically in a tub with a snorkel.
Oh, yeah.
And then as it sets, we rip the snorkel out and you have to scoff your way out.
No, this is not the fucking worst David Blaine stunt of all time. Give me air, allow me to breathe, and I will just...
coming down the snorkel.
I don't want to snorkel. Why can't I just have my head exposed and start slowly eating away from just my neck area down? Loosening up, then I get an arm free.
What? Are you not a snorkel guy?
I'm not a snorkel guy. I've never been a snorkel guy. I'm bad at the snorkel. I've tried it once. I wasn't good at it. Don't trust it.
Is it just the act of breathing underwater that you don't like? Just knowing that your head is underwater?
Yeah, it's not a thing I regularly do. And I think I tried it once as a kid and it went horribly wrong. And I just didn't do it again.
Let me posit this then. Maybe it's time for snorkel redemption. And pancake snorkeling, I think, sounds like the perfect vehicle.
This is the other
2022, the pancake snorkel redemption. I love it.
I don't trust being blinded, essentially, and unable to move with the two of you fuckers being in the area and just being able to do whatever you want. I don't want that.
We've talked about, I've let Geoff bury me in a coffin once.
I did.
That's way easy.
Dude, we nailed it down. Andrew, we nailed it down, and then we covered it in dirt. He was in there.
No, what does that mean? What does that mean? How far down was he? How much dirt did he have?
Not that far and not that much, but that's not the point.
Exactly. Fucking exactly. You just laid down in a bed, they poured a pebble over you, and you're like, I
had an air hole, had an air pipe, and there was a big, like, digger putting mud on me.
Okay.
It was scary.
How about if you fucking have the Ryan Reynolds buried experience, you get buried like 6 feet, all you get is a lighter and a phone, then I'll do pancake thing, no problem.
Well, does that mean we can put you 6 feet under pancake? Because we're talking inches here, man.
Yeah.
It's got to equate.
I would go 6 feet under pancake.
Okay.
Do I get any condiments? Any topping? Any sides with this? Do I get like some syrup?
Yeah, we'll give you like a bag full of little butter pats and individual syrups.
Bag of syrup that you can rip open in an emergency.
You can rip it open one at a time.
Am I allowed to use it as lubrication to try to squeeze out of the pancake?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this
you eat how you eat, Andrew. I'm not going to get in. I don't judge.
I like the idea
methods.
of eating pancake with a shovel. Like having that much that you need to like dig up.
I like the idea of using syrup as lube. Isn't that the opposite?
I like the idea that your body is the syrup distribution method.
Syrup XM.
I feel like I'd get all slippery if I covered myself in syrup. But I think there's a window. I think you're right. It eventually hardens and then would become an issue. But I think there'd be a brief window in which I'd be all slippery. When you use the bathroom, you always close the door behind you, right? You don't want random passerbys looking in on you. So why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like going to the bathroom and not closing the door. Did you know that your internet service provider knows every single website you visit? And what's worse is they can sell this information to ad companies and tech giants who will use their data to target you. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this. It creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity can't be seen by anyone. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices. It works on everything, phones, laptops, even routers, so everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can still be protected even if they don't have ExpressVPN. It's very easy to use and privacy is important to me. And the best part is using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing the bathroom door. You just fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. ExpressVPN is the world's #1 rated VPN by Mashable, The Verge, and countless others. So if you're like me and believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself by visiting expressvpn.com/face today. Use my exclusive link, expressvpn.com/face, and you can get an extra 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/face. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Relationships take work. A lot of us will drop anything to go help someone we care about. We'll go out of our way to treat other people well, but how often do we give ourselves the same treatment? This is something that I have absolutely struggled with in my life and still have issues with it at times. I found therapy to be very helpful in dealing with it, as well as some forms of self-care that I've worked out in kind of the last few years. But this month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of your most important relationship, the one you have with yourself. Whether it's hitting the gym, making time for your haircut, or even trying therapy, you are your greatest asset. So invest the time and effort into yourself like you do for other people. If you're somebody who is considering therapy but just haven't pushed forward with it, maybe because it can be scary. I know I was certainly scared the first time I started therapy, or worried about the stigma that could be attached with it. I suggest you please attempt it. It's something that I found to be incredibly helpful, and I hope it would be helpful for you as well. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and KFace listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/face. That's BetterHelp.com/face.
I found out something recently, Andrew, about where you live.
Is this about like the maple syrup reserves or something, I'm assuming? Vancouver has banned doorknobs. Starting March 2014, all new buildings erected in the city will have to include lever handles on their doors rather than rounded knobs. Thanks to
Not only do a lot of the comment leavers agree with me on the doorknob front, the entirety of Vancouver, knobs are illegal on new builds in Vancouver since 2014. Did you have any idea of this?
No. Weird. I'm trying to think of knobs are
They're trying to, Andrew, they're trying to take your doorknob freedom.
I'm okay with that. As I said, I'm kind of indifferent to the... Man. I don't really... I'm trying to think of like the last time I encountered a doorknob in the wild. I don't think it's been a while. It's clearly not been since 2013.
And it makes total sense. I guess they want...
What a weird thing to outlaw.
People without functioning hands to be able to use doors. It makes total sense.
That does make sense.
That does make sense. I was going to say why, like what would be the thing that would lead to that level of wanting it changed? Like who would bring that to the floor to get that approved? But that makes sense.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that part, yeah.
That is a fun fact, Gavin. It is illegal. So what, do you think there's somebody who's rebellious that's like, I'm going to put a fucking doorknob
I'm doing it.
Door?
Do you think you can go to the local Home Depot in Vancouver and be like, yeah, I'd like to buy one of these doorknobs? And the guy's like, I can sell it to you, but I have to let you know, you can't install it.
I don't think they're even on the shelves. I bet he takes you around the back of the store.
Yeah.
And there's like a rag over a load of boxes of doorknobs.
I was going to say, if you wanted a doorknob, you can only buy them through the hot dog guy in front of the store. It's the only place. It's technically within the grounds of the building, but they're not associated with it. It's a backdoor deal.
Do you have hot dog guys in the front of your Home Depot too?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great staple. It's a staple of Home Depot.
That must be like every Home Depot must have a hot dog guy in front of them, or a taco guy in Texas.
It's not every Home Depot, but a lot of them do, and they have different agreements depending on the store. So they're typically not hired by the store, but it was an idea that essentially, and it's sort of up to debate who is the first person to do it. But the common thread was like a place where people could buy a snack while getting a product. I watched the whole thing about hot dogs and Home Depot and that thing, but I don't remember a lot of the details on it. It was, yeah. It's just funny that like it's awesome too because they're very territorial because there's some Lowe's that do the same thing. And there's like a real rivalry between the Lowe's hot dog people and the Home Depot hot dog people. They're like, no, we don't fuck around with Lowe's.
Are you a Home Depot or a Lowe's person?
I don't think I have Lowe's in Canada. There's at least not one where I live. I don't think. You know what's weird is to like, because of COVID, I've remained in my space as much as possible for like 3 years now. So I don't necessarily know what buildings are in different parts of the city. I just haven't visited. I was looking at a Japanese restaurant that's my favorite in the city, and I was just scrolling through Google Images of it, and I was like, this idiot took a photo of the wrong restaurant. What a ridiculous thing that is. And then I realized it was the right restaurant. They just remodeled, and I haven't been there in like 3 years because of COVID. So it's wild. So if we do have a Lowe's, I'm not aware of it, but I guess it's possible that it exists.
Hey,
it's weird to live in... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Before, it's weird to live in what?
I was just going to say it's weird to live in a small town and not feel like you know all the main stores to it. That's been a strange byproduct of COVID.
That was weird. Geoff simultaneously let you continue, but also like started telling his shit at the same time.
Did I?
You were like, before... No, go ahead. Before you kept almost trying.
I'm all discombobulated.
Why is that?
Why are you?
Oh, I'm just fucking all loopy from cold medicine and shit.
Oh yeah.
And fucking being sequestered, quarantined, whatever. I have 3 little things I'd like to talk about before we end. But if I don't know what else you guys want to cover.
Well, we're only halfway through.
Yeah, no, feel free. I'd love to hear your things.
I saw this is just a comment I saw on the site, I believe. I was looking for the last episode. Someone named Mr. Steel Crayon said we should make baseball bats that have door handles instead of knobs. And sell them. Which, you know, I gotta say, I think he's onto something there.
I mean, that would probably do better than the skateboard.
I was gonna try to build one for the recording of this episode, but I got distracted. I will. We could sell them in Vancouver. We can only sell them in Vancouver.
And technically, we shouldn't have been sending those baseball bats to Vancouver.
Jesus Christ, we were sending illegal knobs. Yeah.
Is it going to be a functional door handle? Like, is it going to actually be able to turn?
I think it has
I would assume so. I hope Big Handle doesn't hear about us and crush us with the door handle lobby.
I'd be okay as long as we firmly align with Big Knob. I'm not scared of Big Handle as long as we are close to Big Knob.
As long as we're close to Big Knob.
Yes.
The other thing is, real fast, so the other day, I haven't opened it up yet, but I know they're there. I was going to wait till I'm COVID-free. But the other day, a box of fucking wrist pockets showed up at my house.
Oh my God, we made them?
Yeah. I got to remember, here's the problem. Somebody's got to tell them, I don't know that I'm always serious when I say we should make this stuff.
We have meetings, and in more than one meeting, you're adamant about making these. This isn't a one and done.
I know?
Yes.
Yes.
There are slacks. There are messages to one another.
What?
You know, I would let it slide. I would have let it slide if you didn't just try to absolve yourself of responsibility for this.
Why doesn't somebody stop me sometimes? Like,
You're in charge.
I get, well, you know, it's like a quorum.
Not only did we talk about this several times in those meetings, like I feel like this has been discussed 3 or 4 meetings at this point, which is quite a while. You volunteered to like sign them.
That's my question. I remember being mad at Eric and you for trying to gaslight me because I was supposed to do something with them that I didn't agree to. But obviously they're at my house. So what am I supposed to do with them? Because I'm going to do it. I just don't know what to do. That's why I bring it up.
Aren't you supposed to write like wrist pocket or whatever and then like sign it or like number it?
Okay.
I don't know. You have these ideas. What do you want me to do? Hang on. What would you like me to do in the future, Geoff?
Okay, here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
Just remember what it was I was supposed to do with them. I'm happy to do it. Well, I'm not happy to do it, but I'm willing to do it. I just don't remember what it is, like how I'm supposed to manipulate these stupid things.
Eric, you're getting a nice glimpse as to what it was like to build stuff in Minecraft with Geoff.
Insane.
Based on his notes while he was an alcoholic. We would be 50% building in Minecraft and 50% trying to figure out what like double block upside down means and trying to make a game out of it.
I just don't remember how I'm supposed to manipulate these stupid things, and I want to do it faithfully and properly.
And they don't say anything on them, right? They're just the pockets? Or?
Are they blank?
I think they have the uniform logo on them.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're supposed to write the wrist pockets rock or whatever.
Whatever you wrote on your original thing that you cut out from your fucking jeans and just taped to your wrist.
Oh, which I still have. It's taped to my monitor.
Use that as reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when you get 30 in and you start getting lost, just look back at that original that's hanging from your monitor.
Okay, Gal. I got it right here.
And then I guess you can sign it or number them. You can do whatever you like.
Numbering sounds appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. I mean, either way, you're writing all over them, so you do whatever you want, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. You're saying like, oh, what am I supposed to, how do I get into this, whatever. The thing that we haven't done yet that you keep talking about is hitting all these fucking baseballs. Like,
well, yeah, because, I don't know why we haven't done that yet. I'm ready to go. I got like, as soon as I'm done with quarantine, I'm ready to go.
Geoff,
just book a fucking place.
You were supposed to throw a baseball 80 miles an hour, and now you're saying, why haven't I hit 1,000 baseballs yet?
Well, I think they only ordered 300, so I only have to hit 300.
You're not going to hit half of them.
Well, if I get a 50% contact ratio, that's got to at least be like a 300 batting average. I'm like a young Tony Gwynn.
All right, we'll schedule a day. There's
Love
a field.
it.
There's a field we can use. We'll hit it into the backstop. We'll toss them up. You can hit them with. Do you still want to dip a bat in oil or whatever you were talking about?
Yeah, and paint so that we can sign them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's not going to
Definitely
get
do
paint's not going to go everywhere. This will be good.
Oh, I assume it probably will, but we'll have Gavin film it.
I know the
There you
world
go.
doesn't work this way, but I want you know how like you have a Nerf gun or like a water gun, how you have to like pump it to increase the force on it. I want a bat where you have to twist the doorknob at the bottom to increase velocity. I just want to see you like twisting the knob a bunch of times.
like
Gotta pump it up.
Pellet gun.
Exactly.
Will it have numbers on it? Like, does it go all the way around to 11 on the bottom of the bat? How do you know?
That's yeah, there's like a PSI type gauge off the bat.
I should only hit the balls with the handle bat. I'll have to build the handle bat prototype, and then we can only hit the balls with that. Oh man, that was the one other thing I wanted to talk about is this. I've been in this. Here, are you guys familiar with this?
Liquid Death
Liquid
is
Death
fixing
is-
the big game using witchcraft. Should I be watching this?
Liquid Death, which is like a water company, has enlisted the help as a marketing campaign. Enlisted the help of a magician or I don't know. Brujeria or wizard or somebody to use magic to determine and influence the outcome of the Super Bowl.
I will say from my experience, it was not helpful. Not the magic.
Are you guys done with magic?
Well, I think in like a week it'll be announced who the offensive rookie of the year is. A week for us. It'll probably be out by the time you hear this. I'm assuming, but we'll find that out. And from my understanding, the list included Geoff's rookie and Gavin's rookie, but not my rookie. Didn't even make the cut. So
And then McCorkle.
unfortunately, Justin Fields, no matter what witchcraft or wizardry I threw at Justin Fields, nothing could overcome the dark forces of Matt Nagy, which held us back. But I'm hoping for one of you two.
What kind of spells were you doing?
All sorts of. That's beyond my understanding. I had. Other
Well, I think the
people.
problem is you were soliciting help from people. I just did the actual spells and incantations myself.
That might be the thing I need to change. The only person I don't want to win is Gavin.
Yeah,
if Gavin
I
wins,
understand
then-
that.
because you did nothing.
'Cause you did nothing.
You did nothing, and you made fun of it the entire process of doing it. It would be the most you thing.
I'm just putting up, and it's a shame because I like their water. I do think it's actually pretty good. But I'm just putting up, just throwing out there that if we're going to use magic again in the future to influence the outcome of anything, which I think we should, because I think we still have our Wizards versus Magic idea for basketball. And I do think that there's more room to grow in the using magic to influence sporting events angle. I think we kind of lost the thread a little bit as we got distracted by other things on the podcast. I would like to revisit it sometime, but I would also like to raise the idea that if we're going to use magic to influence anything, maybe it should be to get revenge on Liquid Death.
Like use magic to combat their magic?
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe hex them.
I was looking at the Super Bowl halftime prop bets for this year. I'd like to throw some magic at that. I've been spending the last day trying to decide what color of Gatorade the winning coach is going to get dumped over him. It's 2-1 odds on orange, just the favorite, but it's a tough.
Hey, if you,
tough call.
I know you're probably doing your prop bets from your phone, but I'm going to be in Vegas for the Super Bowl. So if you want me to place any prop bets physically while I'm there, I'll be happy.
Let me know what they have. I'd love to hear.
Yeah.
It's probably a
For
more
sure.
extensive because it's like I'm gonna once again. I think the greatest win I've ever had in my career of gambling. It's so dumb to call it a career. I don't know why I said that, but the J-Lo picking what song J-Lo would open with when she was at the Super Bowl because that leak all-time win. The excitement of hearing Jenny from the Block. So I'm hoping to recreate that great halftime show this year. Very excited.
Very excited as well. Yeah, let me know. I mean, this will come out. This will already. Super Bowl will
it'll
be
all
over
be
when this comes out.
done.
Okay, so then I'm staying at the Win, so I'll be at the Sportsbook in the Win watching the Super Bowl. So I'll send you photos of all the prop bets.
Thank you. Awesome.
It'll be very, very fun.
Because it's the main one I got to pick is like who will sing first, which I don't know. I don't know who will perform first. Over-unders on the anthem. Who will the MVP mention first? Just a bunch of ridiculous ones, but I bet you this actual sportsbook has way more dumb options to pick from.
Absolutely. Okay, that was my things.
I have one thing. It's a very uneventful week for me, aside from something happened that I feel like I'm almost confident in saying that this has never happened to anyone else on Earth.
Okay.
There's some pictures coming your way.
Oh, I'm very excited.
So I was putting some stuff on my wall, putting some controllers up, because
that's nice.
I feel like I got some nice.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Jeremy does this too. He's got like some nice limited edition controllers that aren't necessarily in use because they're not elites or whatever. So display them on the wall. And then I was wearing some sweatpants that have these little toggle things that cover the end of, like cover like the plastic bit.
Yeah.
A little plastic cap for the end of your sweatpants. I was wearing these sweatpants, putting these things on the wall. Smee was like swatting at the strings. And I guess at some point he knocked one of them off. And down here you can see they look very similar to like the drywall anchors.
Oh my God.
So I posted one of those into my wall. I'm not sure anyone has ever done that. Do you think anyone has accidentally pushed the cover from their sweatpants toggle into a hole they drilled in their own wall? Because Smee looked at me after I did this, after I realized that it went straight in instead of, stopping in the wall. It just went whoop, and I heard it just rattle down and fall into the floor of the wall. And then he just looked at me like he meant to do it.
That's probably why you lost power.
And at that point, I just thought, has that ever happened?
No, you're the only person.
Like, no one would come up with that, would they?
How old is Earth? Hold on.
I was like, of all the things in the correct order to happen, they look similar. They're the similar size.
In
I was wearing
4.543 billion years, you are the only person to have done that. I would bet my life on it.
I wish I was just filming my own face, just as a realization of just like, oh.
I'm really loving these little peeks into your home life lately. It's been highly entertaining.
It's just nothing normal ever happens. I want a normal experience for once. I'm trying to get more into DIY, and it's a disaster. And it's not like I'm being lazy or I just can't. This weird shit keeps happening. The unknown. It's never in the instructions.
Well, yeah, I guess there's probably not a thing in your doorknob for explosions. I bet that wasn't a covered section.
No.
What else? I mean, is there anything? Are those the two main things? I mean, am I missing anything of like DIY gone wrong for you recently? I'm trying to remember. Because you had the wasp nest in your fan, but that wasn't really your fault or like a design thing by you.
Well, he blew up his door handle. He snatched his remote in half. He didn't vacuum for a year and a half till we made him do it on camera.
Well, I vacuumed the carpet. I just didn't vacuum the little.
There was
the sideboard.
The cucumber incident. He threw a Route 44 across his house trying to repaint
Those are great. Those are highlights. Those are great things that happened in the house. What's the most ambitious DIY project you've taken on? Is this it, you'd say?
Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. I've done some like wiring. I drop shit in my walls a lot, I'll be honest. I'm not used to having like big hollow walls with nothing in between. That I had this thing that you could tie around the end of a wire. It was like a magnet. On the outside of the wall, you have like a magnetic roller. So you roll it up the wall and it sort of drags wires up or down the inside of your walls.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I was just unaware of where other wires are in the wall. Like to an outlet, there's wires going down the wall and then like coming out sideways. And I ended up tangling this freaking magnet thing, and to the point where there's still one inside my wall, and I just sealed the hole up because I couldn't get it out. It's like in one of my walls, there's a load of string with a magnet on the end wrapped around the wire that feeds the outlet by that wall. and it's just gonna be in there forever. Like the next door to the house is gonna it's gonna find a lot of weird shit in the walls, I think, based on how it's gone so far. It's like all those old American houses with like loose razor blades in the bathroom walls.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that sounds terrible.
You don't know about that, Andrew?
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, in old bathrooms they used to do that. In an old medicine cabinet, sometimes there'd be like a little razor thing where you just like pop your razor in and just go into the wall forever.
It's like the most short-sighted thing ever. It was like a staple. Inside of medicine cabinets, there would just be a little slit for you to just throw shit away inside your wall.
Back in the old days, though, I think like that shit was probably made like in the 1930s, 1940s. I think razor blades lasted a whole lot longer back then. They were made to be more durable. So you probably weren't popping one a week in there. It was probably more like one every 6 months or something.
Oh, I thought it was like a weekly thing.
No, razor blades are it's one of those scams like light bulbs where razor blades are made to deteriorate and suck so that they're infinitely replaceable, so they can sell it to you forever. But you can make a razor blade that lasts damn near forever.
I want to know the history of that though, because what is it? Just
Man,
you're
look
not gonna
look it up on Google.
Like,
they got it all. Anything you want to know the history on, Google got it.
Do they?
Yeah.
I just want to, like, what was the conversation of, did somebody say, well, then where did this go? And then just like, I don't know. But who cares?
Yeah, there you
Why
go.
is
Razor
that?
blade slot.
Razor blade slot.
Because they're sharp and dangerous, and you don't want to throw them in a trash can and then pick it up and get cut yourself.
Oh, that's fucking. There's another photo of. Is this the remains of?
Yeah,
That's what happens if you cut open like a certain aged American home.
I really like the idea of like a generation of people having their pile. Exists like this is great grandpappy's razor.
It's like when the people like core the ice and you can this is 6 million years old. It's like, well, that's old granddad's razors.
So in the 1930s, the worst wall to get thrown through would be a bathroom wall. If you're gonna go through a wall, that would be the worst one.
Like that scene in The Matrix where they're in the wet wall. That's like a shitload of razor blades cut them up.
I'd be so pissed if I got thrown through a wall and landed on a razor pile that just existed. If I was fighting somebody, let's say I'm in a fight to the death, right? I'm having a full-on brawl with somebody in a bathroom. If I threw them through the wall and they landed on a razor pile, I would call a timeout on their behalf because that's just unacceptable. I would feel so bad. That would end the fight. Gotta call in a doctor. I'd throw in the bathroom towel just to end it immediately. This cannot continue.
Did you ever live in a house, Geoff, that had one of those?
I assume so. Yeah, I mean, I want to say maybe the old house that we lived in together in the downstairs bathroom might have had it, but I can't remember specifically. But I mean, it's something that like the second you mentioned it, it's so commonplace in my head. I feel like I see it all the time. I would go so far as to say any house that's 80 years old or older, probably that hasn't been completely renovated, probably has one of these. You might be living in a home, you dear regulation listener or comment leaver, you might be living in a home right now with a hidden cache of razor blades that you have no idea about. Go check out your bathroom and look at it with a critical eye.
Back when I had a yard, I used to think about what is the coolest thing buried in that yard that I just have no idea is there. If there's anything, like if I were to dig up the entire yard, how far would I have to go before I found something? And what would that thing be?
Are you just talking straight down? Like only
I'm talking straight down on my... If I just got a shovel and was like, I'm going to spend the next 15 years, whatever I feel like it, just digging holes in my backyard. I mean,
what's
the coolest
more likely
thing?
than not, you'll probably find nothing, right?
I'd assume so.
No,
but it's just
I don't
a
know.
possibility.
My backyard is full of shit.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, like, I don't know who the motherfuckers were that lived in this house 40 years ago, but they were straight up burying trash in the backyard.
Huh. What's the coolest thing you found?
Nothing cool. Nothing cool at all. But like dig into fucking like put a flower bed in or something and you're like, why is there half a milk jug buried a foot below? Like, what the fuck? And I'm constantly picking up like, I think they were kind of like, Austin has this this eclectic vibe, Andrew. It's maybe not as prevalent as it was with the influx of money and tech bros and stuff. But Austin used to pride itself on like everybody's backyard was like full of Christmas lights 24 hours a day or 365 days a year. And you would have like these little weird gardens of like found shit and like a lot of old wrought iron rusting. It's all cute. There's like coffee shops like Spider House, which is closed now, but kind of pride themselves on it. It's like, it's weird. It's like being in a salvage yard that's a coffee shop.
I didn't know it closed.
Yeah, it did. The place next door to it that they operate is still open, the ballroom, but the coffee shop's closed. Real sad. So the people, there were definitely some like hippie-ish people who lived in my house at some point who would just bury like, those like glass rod, like anything they had, they were like, well, throw it in the backyard and it will make it, it'll be a thing. Like I was cleaning up in the extreme back of my yard. I was just cleaning up piles of leaves and I touched on something that was like hard. So I dug it out and it was like a ceramic tile. And I thought, what a weird thing to be in the ground. And then I noticed it was butting up next to another one. And I pulled up 25 ceramic tiles. Somebody just laid them in a pattern and said like, hey, it's a back deck now. I put 25 ceramic tiles on top of the ground. It's a deck. And then eventually dirt and age
ground
covered
just ate it.
Yeah, the ground ate it. My backyard is full of that shit. I'll just be like, I'll kick the ground and it'll hurt. And I'll be like, what the fuck? And I'll dig out a brick. Like, no reason, middle of the yard.
Maybe if we go to your yard to dig the beanhole, we'll find some really cool shit.
Can we make a fucking beanhole finally?
Let's finally do it. Let's finally do it.
2022 is the year of the beanhole.
What's
this
a beanhole?
idea predates face altogether. Do you want to explain it, Geoff?
Yeah, I got really into bean holes a couple years, over a decade ago at this point, because I read an article in the New York Times about it. And what it is, Andrew, is it was started by loggers up in the Northeast, like in the Maine, Vermont area. What they would do is they had to feed all the loggers, and they were moving campsites like every 2 days, going further and further up into the extreme north. And so the chef, the cook, would have to travel ahead of them and prepare food and have the food ready for them when they got there. So they developed this ingenious idea where they would dig a hole in the ground, right? And then they would take a big-ass, like, cast iron pot, and they would fill it with beans and then like a ham hock and tomatoes and onions and just everything you would want in like some yummy ass baked beans, right? This crazy recipe. And then they would close it up, right? Put the top on the big cast iron, stick it in the hole about 4 feet in the ground maybe. And then they would burn a bunch of wood, and then they would get all the hot, essentially the hot coals, and they would cover the bean hole, or they would cover the cast iron bean container with all these hot embers, right? And then they would stick like a piece of plywood over that and then cover it with like a foot of dirt. And then 48 hours later, when the loggers would come up, they would knock off the dirt, pick up the thing, pull out the bean hole, and they would have the greatest tasting beans on earth in this giant pot that they could all eat communally for like 2 days. And then at that point, then the chef would go up 2 days further and then make another bean hole. And so from everything that I've read in my extensive bean hole research, there is nothing on earth like bean hole beans. There is nothing on earth like 48-hour prepared bean hole beans. And when I was in the Army and we fought forest fires in Montana, one of the things that they did was they would give us these solar lunch bags that would have like a burrito in it, and it would be wrapped in like tinfoil, and the instructions were to find some hot ash on the ground that had burned, and then kick a hole, stick it in, and then cover it with the ashes, and come back in like 20 minutes, and you'd have a cooked burrito. And ever since then, I thought that was the coolest idea.
It's like nature's microwave.
Yeah, nature's microwave. So when I discovered the bean hole, I've been obsessed with the idea of making a bean hole forever, and we've been talking about it forever, and I really want to do it. I just haven't done it.
Yeah. You absolutely need to do that.
I explained this whole thing to Eric at a bar recently.
Oh, did
you?
Yeah.
I would like to think that the inventor of the bean hole also invented the razor blade slot. Like the concept of like, this is his follow-up. Like you brought on Shark Tank. Everybody knows the success I've had with the razor blade slot. I got the newest innovation. Okay. We're not done putting things in a hole and then just forgetting about them for a while. This is the bean hole. You will never have beans better than when you put them in a hole.
Do yourself a favor, and after this episode's over, at some point throughout the course of your day, when you're not watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which you absolutely should be doing, but I know you're not going to do.
Oh, you fucking pretzeled me so hard with The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I'm just telling you. I just know. I know you. I know you. You're not going to fucking do it, so it doesn't matter.
Me.
Don't give me the pleasantries of maybe I'll check it out someday bullshit. Just be honest and tell me you're never going to watch a show that I recommend because I want you to. Anyway,
I don't know what to do.
While you're not watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, what I would like you to do at some point is watch any video on bean holes on YouTube.
I will.
It'll blow your fucking mind. There's a ton of good ones.
Should we do it this month?
No, it's too cold.
It'll be like summer again by the end of the week.
Well, Eric says June. Let's plan for March. March is good bean hole month.
I have another small update that I want to say. A lot of people telling me I'm an idiot for putting the fingerprint door handle. I could have just turned my door handle upside down. My door handles already work both ways. I'm not sure if that's a variation, but I can turn my handles up to open the door as well. So I'm not flipping upside down. I don't think would do anything.
Moneybags over here with the ambidextrous door handles. Look at you, high class.
I mean, they were on the doors already when I moved, but sure.
Very subtle brag, Gavin, but we all got
it. Look at this fucking guy over here.
Message received.
His handles go
loud
both
and
ways.
Clear. Message received. We understand.
Right. Which ways do your doors go? Just one?
I have knobs, baby.
Knobs everywhere?
My front door is a push down with my thumb.
My other final update is that, Geoff, what's the name of the dwarf in Lord of the Rings?
Gimli? Right? Gimli?
Yeah, Andrew, what did you think it was
Listen, okay? First of all, I got it wrong. Second of all, I'm trying to crawl to my door to see if my door handle twists both ways. I thought it was Grimly. I spent my whole life thinking the dwarf from Lord of the Rings is called Gimli.
That's a cool name,
I
though.
just like the idea of Gimli, son of Gloin, being Grimly, son of Groin.
Oh, this fucking door does. Let me slide to the other part of my room. We're going on a little bit of an adventure.
Be careful. You could hurt yourself.
Andrew, please don't hurt yourself.
No, I'm just dragging everything. Ooh, that fell over. Okay.
Eric, we're not going to end it while Andrew's crawling across his room.
Holy shit, I think my doors
need
go
resolution.
both ways. My doors go both ways. Holy
I wasn't
fuck.
going to say anything about this, but fuck it. I'm going to tease it because it'll annoy you guys. I was thinking about both of your lives recently and about their particular frustrations that you deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And I felt bad about it. And I thought, as a good friend, I'm going to think about your problems and I'm going to figure out ways to solve them. And then I went out and I did that, and I bought I bought some stuff for you guys that I think is going to help make your lives easier a little bit. And so, Gavin, I have yours I'm looking at it, but I can't give it to you yet because Andrew's doesn't arrive until I believe February 16th. So on February 16th, I'm going to drive your gift over to you, and then you guys can have them on the same day, and then we can talk about it on the podcast. But I want to let you guys know, help is coming on February 16th. Your lives will get a little bit easier, both of you.
Interesting.
It's so funny you say this. Did you know that Amazon doesn't sell dildos anymore? I'm assuming they stopped relatively recently. Because I was gonna do the same for you, Geoff. Because you had COVID and you've been quarantining. I thought, as a good friend, I should send you a box of goodies just to make it through, to have a good time with. But they don't sell dildos on Amazon.com. Couldn't find one.
Well, that's a shame.
It is a shame. It was in reference to Geoff once mailed me a capture card for like work stuff.
Yeah.
Like a work order. Like
So I'm a good
years
friend.
ago.
Yeah, nice guy.
And you were going to mail me a dildo, but decided against it at the last minute as a joke. So I was going to send you a dildo, but I couldn't find one on Amazon.
If you send it to me, if you find a dildo and send it to me, I will put a handle on it. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Hanky Danky Bob Vila Old Man Podcast. We really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Is that a thing? I don't know. We do have a YouTube channel, though. But we also have a podcast, and that's what you're listening to, and that's what this was, and now it's over. Bye.
Hey guys, minor league fan Jack here with a look at next week's episode of Face. That question is too bread. Andrew pulled an all-nighter. Gavin's eyes are messed up. The boys are up early. Geoff talks about hitting baseballs. Bananas can save your life. And once again, Andrew does not eat the pencil. All that and more on next week's episode of Face.